Welcome to the Two Wealth Show, a show that shares how you can create real wealth for you and your family. I'm one of your hosts, Justin Bogard, and my co-host is Elizabeth Sickles, aka Super E. I am a real estate note investor, specializing in performing residential real estate debt. I find the deals, acquire them for my own portfolio, as well as educate investors while walking them through the process of owning a real estate note. My co-host Super E, a real estate investor, specializing in short-term rentals and the management of them. She connects investors with short-term tenants and manages everything in between. Our show is sponsored by BrightPath Notes and Elizabeth Maora. You can find out more information by visiting our websites at brightpathnotes.com and elizabethmaora.com.
Welcome to the Two Wealth Show, a show that teaches you how to make real wealth in the real estate industry. And I'm your host, Elizabeth Maora Sickles.
And I'm Justin Bogard. Welcome. Today, we're going to mirror kind of what we did in episode 1. I'm actually going to interview Super E. So now we're going to learn a little bit more about Super E, dive into her personal life.
Oh,
yeah.
Should be interesting.
Yeah. So why don't you tell us who our sponsors are?
So our sponsors for today's show is BrightPath Notes.
Hey, that's me.
And Elizabeth Maora.
That's you.
It is me.
That's awesome. So thanks for interviewing me on that first episode. That was pretty fun.
That was fun. It's always good to get to know people a little bit more.
Yeah, you thought you threw some curveballs out there, but I don't think you really did.
No?
I don't know. I thought they were good questions. I think they were bad questions.
No, I like to ask good questions.
Yeah, and I liked it how it wasn't really focused on business either.
Well, because there's more to you than just business. So what's behind BrightPath?
I'm just a robot in a business. Boop, oil. I was watching The Office, so that's why he did the robot one time, and somebody had to put oil in him so he would get moving again like the Tin Man. Anyways, I digress. I'm sorry. So, okay. Elizabeth Maora Sickles. So why do you name your company Elizabeth Maora if your name is Elizabeth Maora Sickles? Why didn't you say ElizabethMaoraSickles.com?
Because when I do get married, I won't have to change the name of my company. So I'm kind of...
Genius.
Yeah, I'm kind of old-fashioned. So when I do get married, I'll change my last name to my husband's name.
That's a smart thinking.
So, yeah.
That's smart thinking. So Maora is your middle name?
It is.
Okay.
And I was...
Now we know her middle name.
Yes. I was named after a lady that my mom cleaned for, and we're still friends with. So her name was Maora McCoy. She was an entrepreneur as well,
McCoy.
Actually.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What did she do?
She had a grocery store and a flower shop.
Oh, cool.
So, yeah, and then we're still friends with her daughter. Ellie is 86. So, still friends with the family of the lady that I'm named after.
That's awesome. So, you asked me a pretty good question, and I have to ask you the same one, is like, what gets you up in the morning? Because I thought that was a great question, because I kind of paused, but I was just being truthful. What really wakes me up in the morning? So, you tell me.
What wakes me up in the morning is just the fact that I always feel like I can do more, that I can be more. There's a lot to do. I don't have my own kids yet, so I have 2 nephews that are 12. Like I'm the favorite aunt. I want to stay the favorite aunt, and I just want to do great things so that they, will think that Auntie E is like number 1 in all areas.
I bet you're the fun aunt, aren't you?
Oh. Get this, I had them for 3 days over New Year's.
Yeah.
We went to Sky Zone twice. New Year's Eve night, we went to Sky Zone, and they love Ben & Jerry's ice cream. And they asked me, like, Auntie E, can we have ice cream for dinner? And I said, of course we can.
Why not?
Exactly. And then they say, can we get 2 pints each? Like, of course you can, guys.
Elizabeth, you're going to have to tone that stuff down when you get them full time. You get kids full time, okay?
Yes.
Because that's bad news. You give kids ice cream and sugar at night before they go to bed. Oh, man, that's a recipe for disaster. I understand I was just, they were there for a couple nights, but, man, you won't catch me doing that. The sugar's out of their system by like 4 p.m.
I don't.
So that we can just kind of just like mellow down, settle down. Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I always see you posting stuff on Facebook about your nephews. So do you have nieces as well?
No, just nephews.
Just nephews? Okay.
2 nephews. They'll be 13 the end of this month. So,
Okay.
yeah, love. So I call them my boys. They're my nephews, but my boys. So love.
Are they twins?
They are. They're twins.
Oh, they're twins. Cool.
Yes.
So was the mom a twin or the dad a twin as well?
The mom.
Okay.
So they're my brother's kids. So.
Okay, so your brother married a twin.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And so is the other twin married as well?
Yes. The mom her twin is a boy, and he's married, but he does not have twins. He has a daughter. So. I'm
already confused. I'm lost. Okay. I digress. So, Elizabeth, we know why your business is named Elizabeth Maora.
Yes.
We know what gets you up in the morning. So do you have a brother? Mm-hmm. Do you have any other siblings?
I do not.
Okay.
No.
And then does your brother live here in Indiana?
He does. He's just an hour and a half away. So my family and they're an hour and a half as well. So it's nice that I'm close with them, or distance-wise close with them now. So
okay. So really well. Hour and a half, like in Indiana, or
okay. In Indiana, yes.
So I know that Elizabeth, you came from the corporate world, and you're a very educated person, and you were in kind of like the auto industry. Mm-hmm. Is that right? A
little bit of everything.
And so you were in Michigan before you came here to Indianapolis. Mm-hmm. So talk to me a little bit about that last job that you were at, and why you were so focused on, getting out of the rat race and getting to good old Indianapolis.
Oh gosh. The department, Ford recruited me to come work for them, and I worked on vehicles coming out the next 15 to 20 years on the technical and on the finance side.
Wait. Vehicles that come out the next 15 to 20 years? Mm-hmm. So that when you left the corporate world a few years ago, so you know what's going to happen 7 or 8, 10 years from now.
Oh, yeah. In 2014,
wow.
I was working on it's really cool.
That's amazing. I had no idea there was that much projection.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Huge amount of planning. Huge amount. Yeah, it's really cool. I've always been on the tech side in my career, so it was cool to see everything that was coming up in that as well. But the issue with where the work itself was really cool, but the department that I was in was very hierarchical.
Okay.
Very old school. So it was an extremely difficult transition, especially I worked the least amount of hours I'd ever worked. I didn't have a company cell phone. I didn't have a company credit card. I didn't travel.
Wow.
I wasn't allowed to talk in meetings, even though if I put the presentation together and my boss presented it, and that was because of the level I was.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was, even if they're asking him a question and he didn't, because he was a very smart guy, yeah. But I worked with the team and put the presentation together, right? Yeah, he's not going to know everything.
He wasn't involved, right?
Right. You were not to say anything. So, wow. And it was just, it wasn't wrote anywhere, but it was, you could pick up on all that kind of stuff.
So it wasn't because you were a female or male. It was really because
the level
of the business says you are this person. You do not speak in the meetings.
You're an I think I was an LL6, and if I had been an LL5, then it would have been okay for me to actually give answers and to give some input.
That's kind of sad.
And this was just, I left corporate in 2016. this was just 4 years ago.
Wow.
So, yeah, it was very, very interesting. Very interesting. And I had a former colleague of mine that saw me and had said, "Oh, what's your title now? Executive Goddess?" So I put that on my signature at Ford, and I did it to see how long I could get away with it.
Yeah.
And I got away with it for almost 2 months. And I would get responses because I had to send reports out to people I never met and, all that kind of stuff. But I would get emails from people that say, "Hey, I love your title." And then my boss, the one day, he said, "Hey, about your title." And so I said, "No problem, Ray, I'll go change it." So I went to my desk, and my official title was Product Planning Analyst.
Product Planning Analyst, okay.
Yeah, I'm like, I can't go from Executive Goddess to Product Planning Analyst.
Yeah, that sounds like a huge demotion.
Yes. So I put Product Planning Guru, and this was around 6 o'clock on a Monday. And then Tuesday, the next day by noon, I had an email from my boss telling me exactly what my title was. And that was in about March of 2016. And I was like, I should probably think about this is not going to be a place where I'm going to continue to move up the ranks.
Kind of handcuffed,
So,
you know.
yes.
And was there like the person that was above you, you had to wait till they moved on before you could move up that level, or they had availability for you to move up to that LL5 or that LL6? Or...
There was availability. I would have stayed in the division, but I would have gone to a different group, which would have been fine. But there was just no way. It was so steeped in old school. The other thing is some of those, I mean, overall it's a great organization, right? But part of the problem you have with people that have pensions is that, they've been there 30 plus years.
Yeah.
They're not leaving, whether they're a great employee or not. They're just hanging around for their pension. So I did have some really great colleagues, but also, man, some of those people that they needed to go a long time ago. So I'm grateful. I had 15 years in corporate. I worked all over the world. And
awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely helped me in having my own business. But it's like, I think I should think about my exit plan. So that was in March. And I said, okay, I'm going to resign in July. And so that's what I did.
So you had your future set. You said, I'm leaving this, and you wanted to get into real estate? Or did you not know you wanted to get into real estate then?
I didn't know if I was going to be doing real estate or natural health. I have a real passion for natural health. So... And so I took 6 months to travel and spend more time in both areas of that and decided on the real estate.
Let's talk about that travel. So I'm pretty sure you've been to some pretty cool places that I've never been to Europe or anything like that. I've only been to the U.S. and Mexico areas.
You got to get out, my friend.
Maybe I've crossed the Canadian border once.
Once?
I think through Niagara Falls.
Okay.
I may have stepped on Canada real quick. So where have you been? Where is the most exciting places that Elizabeth Maora Sickles has been? So
professionally or
both? Both.
Okay. Yeah. I've spent a lot of time in Japan. That was really fun. So this is, the Japanese, they're much smaller people than us. I figured out though how to gain weight in Japan. So even though portion sizes are like this, I was miserable the first time I went. I was there for 6 weeks and hated it. Now I love it. I've been back many, many times. But so Japan was really, really cool. Especially we had a colleague that every weekend we went to one of the different shrines. Okay. So I've been to all of the temples, all of the major shrines in Japan. That was really cool. So Japan, I love Aruba. I love Turks and Caicos.
Okay. That's just in the kind of by the Keys area, right?
Yes, in the British West Indies. Yes.
BWI.
Yes.
Close to the Cayman Islands, maybe?
No, I couldn't tell you.
That's my familiarity. I know the Cayman Islands, and then the Cuba is a little bit above that, and then like the Florida Keys are above that.
Okay.
That's where I know.
That's
my
geo.
Yeah, that's my locator. But I know that the Caymans are British West Indies as well.
Yes, they are.
They have their own currency, though. They call it the Cayman. They call it Cayman. Cayman Islands.
Nice.
Yeah, they have their own little monies. So
very nice.
Yeah.
And Brazil, just FYI, Brazil's amazing.
Oh yeah.
Just be safe, but it is absolutely Rio de Janeiro. If you've watched especially since you have kids, the video Rio.
Oh yeah,
the cartoon.
The cartoon video, yeah.
Yeah, that is Rio de Janeiro.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So then you've been to some pretty cool spots. I know you went to China for
pleasure.
For pleasure, right?
Yes.
Recently. Well, in 2019, right?
Yeah.
So what was that like compared to Japan?
Oh, totally different.
Yeah.
Even real estate wise, in China and all the cities that we were in, there are, and we're driving through as well, there are tons of buildings everywhere, commercial buildings, huge buildings that are completely empty.
Wow.
So
in China.
Yes, I had heard that, and that's very true. Their culture is very different. So even though they see you, they will run right into you. Like there's no personal space.
Oh, wow.
And the Japanese, you do not touch a Japanese person. And even in the subways, when I was in Japan, and it's rush hour, they are completely packed. You are in the train. There is absolutely no room, but there is still space between you and the other person. So
really?
Very
different. You can slide a ruler right in between somebody. Like, yep, you got a space right there.
Yes, they will not touch you. So
what if you accidentally bump into them? Is that they just realize that happens, or do they freak out and start saying things in Japanese?
It just depends.
Okay.
But yeah, very, very different cultures.
Wow. It's interesting. I don't know if I'd want to go to China.
Oh, it's a beautiful country.
So what cities were you in? Like Beijing or?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Beijing. We were in, Shanghai, Wuxi. We went to the Great Wall, so we saw the big things. It was great.
It was great.
Great. These bracelets are they're jade. I bought them when I was in China, so definitely have a special meaning. But yeah, so if anybody ever gets a chance, and also you can go to China by yourself. Like you don't need to go through a tour. We thought that we did just because it's China. I don't speak Chinese.
Yeah.
But you can definitely, we did the subway ourselves. Like you can figure it out.
Oh, okay.
So.
It's not that bad.
No, it's not. And it's gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous.
Well, maybe I'll get out there.
I'll
get out there. So, Elizabeth, you are becoming more and more a pioneer locally here in our regional area with your Airbnb expertise and your project skills with hosting and kind of property managing these short-term rentals. Mm-hmm. I know I say Airbnb loosely. I mean short-term rentals. It's not just Airbnb, right? What has your experience been like from the very first one that you've managed to fast forward to today to whatever you're managing today? Like what has that been like? Has it been like this like a whirlwind or like has it been chaos? Like what? Paint a picture for me.
Yeah, chaos is a good word. Okay. Man, so many ups and downs. As you know, running your own business, things I was not prepared for at all. And especially like in corporate, I mean, I've pretty much, would always hit the goals and then, you get into your own business and I didn't know what the goals would be. So I had these huge, crazy goals. And then too, I will say that I've learned, so just me personally, it's even still today, like I think my mom would probably kill me if I used illegal drugs. So I don't have a desire. And I have learned more about drugs than I ever thought I would. So I've learned a lot about a lot of different things that never in a million years. But at the end of the day, my team and I mean, we provide, really great housing for people that are coming to Indy, no matter why they're coming. So it's definitely been a whirlwind, great days, really bad days also, and just the whole thing that makes it all work.
Yeah, I forgot about the drug stories. You told me some of those drug stories kind of offline, and they're just kind of funny because I guess because I'm not in the business, I wouldn't think anything of it, but I'd be like, oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. I mean, people are just casually getting in there, and they feel like they can do whatever they want,
Yeah, and so one of the other things is that things that have been happening in hotel rooms forever, well, now those are spilling out into the short-term rentals also. Okay. So, it's just part of it. I mean, 95% of our guests are really great. It's that 5% that causes a lot of heartburn and lost sleep.
Yeah, I get it. Well, you've been a trooper. I know you've grown a lot. And so have you reached your milestones that you wanted to reach when you started this business? Are you to the point to where you realize, looking back, going, you know what, I went above and beyond, or I'm not there yet, or where do you feel like you're at today from when you first started?
Oh, I'm not even close to.
I knew your expectations would be too high.
Yeah, not even close. But at least I'm dialing them in to be more realistic now. So that's a big help. Plus, I have. I'm a big believer in coaches. So I actually have two coaches. I have a life coach and then an actual business coach. And so Mitch, and Keith helps me in the business too, but Mitch is very focused on the business. So he's like, well, how about if you be a little bit more realistic, Elizabeth?
Yeah.
Okay.
That is a good point. I found myself doing the same thing. I'm just like, I'm going to do all these things. And you kind of get grounded quickly, realizing like, I don't know the right path to go down. Like you have to do some trial and error. So I'm sure you've had some trial and error in your part of the business. But I guess that's why you flourish so much, is you made it past that imaginary 24-month window that most people kind of figure out if this is going to be longer term or not. And they're right. I mean, for me, it was about 24 months going, okay, this is it. Like, am I going to be able to start flourishing, or am I going to fade away and just do something else? Mm-hmm. So it's kind of nice to feel like, at least from my perspective, I think you've gotten over that hump to where you're definitely able to shine, and you've got a lot of directions you're going. You got EM University.
Yes.
Right? You've got all your property management stuff. You're working with investors. You're helping them with like basically being boots on the ground for them, because a lot of them are not even in this area, right? They're spread across the world or spread across the United States.
Yeah, it's pretty cool what's going on here in Indy, and
it is. It is. Like other cities, I see things going on, but there seems to be a lot of focus with Indy as far as short-term rentals. And we were at a meeting last night where you guys were talking about how the rules are kind of in our favor here in Indianapolis versus other cities. You're kind of handcuffed with certain rules and requirements and taxations, and they want to, poo-poo on short-term rentals in some cities for whatever reason, the bureaucracy of it. And Indy's pretty, for right now, being lenient with it, which is great. So our rents seem to be high, right, compared to other places. So awesome.
Yeah.
Well, we've come to the end of our interview, unfortunately. I know there's a lot more questions I could ask you, but tell us a little bit about EM University before we kind of sign off for today.
All right. So I have a real heart for the education side on having other hosts be really great hosts. So my team and I spent 8 months last year putting together an online course so that other hosts can either be better, or if you want to get in the business, we go through everything. So we're really excited about it, and we do a coaching call every week, and we have our Facebook group. So just the education has really become a big part of what I'm focusing on this year and moving forward. So we're
absolutely
excited.
Yeah, I'm glad you've done that. And I didn't know about this till like a month or two ago when you actually released it. So you kept that card close to your chest. How dare you keep things from me? You're a co-host. No, but I'm really proud of you. You definitely flourished a lot. This EM University, I think, is going to be huge for you. And it's going to help a lot of people understand how to monetize, to make this a business for themselves, and how to be really the super hosts of all this.
Absolutely. I hope so.
So, well, this was the Two Wealth Show, sponsored by BrightPath Notes and Elizabeth Maora. You can catch these video episodes on our YouTube channels, which is BrightPath Notes and Elizabeth Maora. So I look forward to having more interviews this year. And until next time, everybody, see ya.
Thank you.
The Two Wealth Show is produced by Justin Bogard and Super E, sponsored by BrightPath Notes and Elizabeth Maora. Thanks for listening and watching for our show.